With Techrot Encore's update, we got the ability to equip Blood Rush on Exalted weapons. The question comes up, Sacrificial Steel and Sacrificial Pressure better, or is Galvanized Steel and something like Condition Overload or Prime Pressure Point better? Let's do the math. So when we calculate this out, the way to calculate this is you take the additive forms of crit chance, add them together, and then multiply by the decimal form of the base crit chance, which for the case of Exalted Blade, this is 15%. And then after that, you add the whole value of the crit chance percent. This results in 122% and 163% on heavy attacks. Like at Galvanized Steel, this comes out to 97.5% and 114% on heavy attacks. The short answer to this is if you're not running something like Wrathful Advance, I would make the argument that Sacrificial Pressure and Steel are better because it gets you to a guaranteed crit status with a good chance at getting orange crits on heavy attacks. Where things also get complicated is if you're using something like Galvanized Reflex, which would provide 160% when, say, the math for it 4 times 40%. This results in Sacrificial having 80% versus Galvanized at 55%. I'd make the argument that this isn't that significant since, at least with Galvanized mods, you're more likely to crit than to not crit, since contrarily this would be 44.5% that you're not going to crit versus 55.5% that you are going to crit. So without Wrathful Advance, I would make the assertion that Sacrificial Set is more likely better in most scenarios. So, if you do have Wrathful Advance, the question comes up, which one is better? I would say it has to do with your power strength. Let's take a few examples. So 202% power strength, which I'm able to get currently with right here, being Triple Umbra and Bellicose. Bellicose to have a higher non-conditional amount of strength. It's just quality of life. That's currently what I'm testing, which provides 202 or 202%. It says 201, but it actually provides 202%. So if we do the math on this, if we're adding our sacrificial set with that, it comes out to 234% with 365% on heavy. But if we look at the galvanized percent, yes, we're still getting pretty much guaranteed red crits, but we're at a low chance for heavy attacks. That's where with 202% strength, I would make the argument that sacrificial set is better. But let's say if we take out Bellicose and we're using a more endgame or endurance-minded build, take us to 370 or 237% strength. With Sacrificial Set, this comes out to more likely to 400% crit tier, with a guaranteed 400% crit tier, versus with Galvanized mods, we get still a pretty decent chance of red critting, or doing a 400% red crit, exclamation point, and decent chance at 351%. So this gets a little bit more complicated because you could make the argument that we're already at a pretty decent crit tier, having a good chance at 400% crit chance, and then being able to benefit from mods like Condition Overload, or even I would make the argument Condition Overload, because you're not going to be able to outperform that extra, slightly higher chance at extra crit tier with only another 5% or so melee damage running Prime Pressure Point. So this would be the argument between Condition Overload and Galvanized Steel versus that.